Hi and welcome to a What Tablet PC review of the Allwinner A13 tablet. It's the best-selling tablet on Amazon right now, and the big reason for that is that it's one of the lowest cost tablets available. It comes in at around about £40 in the UK, so we're asking today if this is the best cheap tablet available right now. Now this review is in that context. This isn't an iPad, this isn't a premium Android tablet, this is a quite cheap tablet from China, and it's a question of whether this tablet is something that could suit you, particularly if it's a first tablet or a tablet for a child. And just to give you some kind of first impressions, I'm going to come back with a second video to follow this one up, which will show the actual performance. Today it's more about what you get out of the box and some impressions of the hardware, etc. So let's get this starting to boot up. So here we go. It's stock Android that's installed on this. It's Android Honeycomb, that's Android 4.0. So just to give you a bit of an overview while that's booting up. It takes about 35-40 seconds to boot up. What else is in the box? You get a little instruction booklet, all in English. We've also got a charger, just with a kind of a pin that fits into the tablet, and for getting some battery into the tablet. There is a mini USB to full size USB 2 cable here that will allow you to plug it into your computer and sideload apps etc onto the tablet and files etc. Interesting little attachment here which allows you to plug into the mini USB socket that's on the tablet and convert that socket into a full-size USB socket, in theory for things like 3G dongle or even a full-size USB stick which might have some files on etc. We'll see how that works in the next video. So if we roll on to this then, so generally what's the build quality like, first impressions of this? I mean, it's quite a plasticky tablet, quite basic in its kind of design and structure, but it works. I've seen tablets like this before that are a bit flimsy. It doesn't come across too flimsy. The screen seems quite basic, but it's a capacitive screen, which is more than can be said for other cheap tablets which work on the kind of resistive technology of old style screens that are a bit more sort of soft touch screen. This is a proper capacitive screen similar to what you'd get, I guess, on a more up-to-date smartphone etc. But of course it's more of a cheap end capacitive screen, so it's not comparable to something you'd get on an iPad or an iPhone or an expensive smartphone, but it does the job. It's actually quite responsive. I mean, just clicking around, you can quickly select things. They work quite nicely. Let's go back. That's just the camera. It seems to be quite responsive. It allows you to quickly squeeze through things. This is all quite straightforward. So it does the job. Now let's take yourselves all the way back to the home screen and just have a look around the tablet. So like I said, it comes in various plastic colours, and this one's the blue version of course. On the front here we've got a little webcam. This is a 1.3 megapixel webcam, so quite basic but probably good enough for doing things like Skype. You won't be taking any sort of digital photos on this, but it'll do the job. It's a 7-inch tablet, so measuring across from here to here, so that's a good size for fitting in a jacket pocket, that sort of stuff. The screen itself is actually quite low res. It's an 800 by 480 pixel screen, which is more equivalent to what you'd get on a smartphone, so obviously a much smaller format, so you're not going to get really decent pictures on here or really decent high definition film, but it's alright if you want a tablet just to play games on and do bits and pieces, and the price point works for you. Seems responsive enough, just like I say. If I work my way around some of the sockets that are on here, on the top edge here we've got the mini USB port. We've got a microphone, little dot here, so for taking some sound. We've got the where you'd stick in the power adapter to get some battery into it. This is just the on-off switch, and it'll allow you to turn the screen off if you want to, that sort of stuff. On the side here, we've got a headphone socket. We've got a volume up-down. This bit here is for a micro SD card. Well, actually it refers to it as a TF card, but it should take micro SD, micro SDHC cards. So that works, that looks fine there. If I work my way round, that is actually it. You can see it's kind of like a rounded shape on the back here, so quite reasonably stylish, as much as can be said for really something of this kind of price. So what else have we got in here? So it's the processor in here is the Allwinner A13. It's a 1 GHz processor. Again, it's not a super fast processor. It'll do the job for you, but it's not going to suddenly break loads of speed records and performance records. There's 4 GB of flash memory installed, which is not massive, but it will run the operating system, and like we said previously, there is this micro SD card slot here, which would allow you to put some extra storage in, up to 32 GB worth of storage to put extra files on, that sort of stuff. 3G isn't built into the tablet, it's just a Wi-Fi only tablet. In theory, using this extra adapter that comes with it though, you should be able to attach a 3G dongle, but we'll try that later on. It comes with the gravity center, as you've seen as I've been moving this around. It flips around, reorientates itself. It's not the quickest to reorientate itself, but it does the job fine. The actual other things is that it will support apps like Google Play for downloading various apps and games and music, etc. YouTube it will support, Skype it will produce, it should support, so we'll see what the kind of performance is on those ones coming up. There is no GPS installed in the tablet, and generally it seems fine. It seems initial first response is quite decent, and we'll see how it stacks up in the next video. So that's it from this whattabletpc.com review of the Allwinner A13 tablet, the first impressions. We'll have another video coming up shortly which will talk you through the rest of the details. Thanks very much.